Hi everyone, in this video I would like to share with you some of my thoughts and observations about O징어게임 or Squid Game. Yes, I know I'm very late to the party, fashionably late, but I only got round to watching the show back in January, and after that I now realize I was making things too difficult for myself by wanting to cover literally everything about the show, including references to South Korea specific events made. And unfortunately, I lack the resources to, I currently lack the resources to research things like the Seemal Undong, which is also referenced in Squid Game. So yeah, I can't really afford to buy academic articles at the moment. So to that end, if you would like to support me, I've made a Ko-fi page. You can make a one-time donation or subscribe. Yeah, I hope you'll consider doing that so I can bring you more in-depth, informative videos. Anyway, one thing I really liked about Squid Game was how Lee Jong-jae played a completely different character from the type of character I'm used to see him playing. Apparently, the show's writer and director, Hwang Dong-hyuk, cast him specifically for this purpose. I really like that idea because I'm used to seeing E in more polished roles. The 2010 remake of The Housemaid is the first one that comes to mind. Oh yeah, something that also struck me about the show was these two shots. Both of them don't show the game's participants' faces clearly. Pretty much the only thing we see or that stands out in both of these shots are the green tracksuits. This, to me, was one of the most powerful visual metaphors in the entire show. The visual metaphor for what the show, for the criticism of capitalism that it's trying to convey. It reduces how capitalism reduces some of the most vulnerable people to just numbers. And even maybe sometimes not even numbers. Something else that occurred to me was how Sebyok and Ali in particular are outsiders in the way that most of the South Korean characters are not, presumably South Korean characters. Sebyok is a North Korean defector, and unfortunately North Korean defectors don't really tend to get the kind of celebrity treatment in South Korea the way defectors like Park Yeon-mi get in the US. Although there are Koreans who will insist that North and South are one nation, North Koreans are unfortunately still discriminated against. Back in January, The Guardian had an article about a North Korean defector who defected back to the North after failing to make ends meet in the South. Ali is an outsider because, he's both an immigrant worker who probably wouldn't have had much status in his home country, and because he is South Asian. Both Koreas still draw a sense of national identity from the fact that they are mostly ethnically homogeneous countries. And characters like Ali are sometimes seen as a threat to that sense of identity. What was also very conspicuous to me in the show was how all the VIPs looked white to me, and I started thinking that, maybe this was partially to avoid drawing parallels with real-life South Korean billionaires, as South Korea has very strict defamation laws. But I was thinking this might also be a subtle criticism about how too much foreign, in particular American influence is ruining South Korea in a way. Because if you look at the scenes in the room where the VIPs reside, it's very tacky. It exudes this air of depravity, at least to me. And that I think it also bears noting that the VIP who sexually propositions a disguised Junho is played by an American actor, Jeffrey Giuliano, and he has back in 2019 he uploaded a video to his YouTube channel titled "Why I Won't Live in America." So if and of course not all Americans are white, but I've noticed that in many Asian series, Americans are often played by white actors, so even if they're not actually American. So if Hwang intended criticism towards America in particular, then at least he has one actor who agrees with that sentiment. Any criticism of America, the United States. Lastly, there's a very big contrast between Sang-woo and Gi-hun, and I really liked how Gi-hun initially brags about Sang-woo as having gotten out of the underdeveloped Sangmun-dong neighborhood where they both lived. But over the course of the show, it's clear Gi-hun is growing more and more disillusioned with Sang-woo, and Sang-woo is also shown to be willing to step on and betray other players of the game to win. Which is perhaps evidence of how intimately familiar he is with the capitalist system that actually works, and with how the capitalist system actually works, and how ruthless you need to be to compete in it. And perhaps it's also a criticism of South Korea's competitive society. Because no matter how good your grades are, how prestigious the university is you went to, or how well your job pays, you can be screwed over. At least capitalism will screw you over in the same way as anyone else. Anyway, those are just a few of my observations. I hope I'll be able to do more in-depth videos about this Korea-specific events, historical events that the show is referencing. And again, if you would like to support me, you can donate on Ko-fi, or you can subscribe, or whatever you feel like. And of course, sharing and liking this video and subscribing to my channel are also very, very much appreciated. I would also like to shout out my friend Caleb Jones, who let me use his song "The Early 2000s Can't Be Beat" in this video. He has a new song out now titled "Sell Out," so go check it out. And my next video will be on the 2014 film The Interview, and why assassinating Kim Jong-un is not a good idea. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.